Correct, yes.
What were you looking for on initial review?
The first two houses we went to on America, we're looking for anything, right? We like to capture the incident as it happened. If we could capture, the homicide happening, that would be priority number one. And that was pretty quick. That was first day. At 4067 America, that's Trent Waterman's house. That's the third one down America. There was a Ring camera. I think it's a floodlight captured on the second floor of the house. And when I went into Mr. Waterman's house, he let me access his iPad. We pulled it up on his iPad, and we went through some videos, and there was the first video, right, where there's a truck that passes by that triggers because it's a motion-activated camera, and the video that you'll see is it's a loud gunshot, just one shot, and then there's a few seconds that go by, and off in the distance you can see a stopped car. And I'm just kind of going into it. There's a silhouette that walks in front of the car, starts walking, and then picks up pace. I believe starts running, not at an incredibly sprint, but definitely running. And they're running away from the parked car.
You have a great recall for the names and addresses of these people that correspond to the videos.
This is what I did for an entire month.
So with that information, what did you start to look for on these video clips?
We looked for other, just other trucks, light-sized trucks. But the real, I guess, aha moment was we were sitting in detectives, and we had gathered a lot of video at the time, and we used, we went back. I say like an hour and a half back in time, and one of the detectives who was sitting in the same room as me kind of noticed a vehicle that was looking, or that just acted a little different at the 4067 video, and that's Trent Waterman's video. Because not only did we get the shooting video, we went back a couple hours before, a couple hours after. You don't know what you have, right? And so he noticed this vehicle, a truck actually, that was operating unusually in that stretch of Sanctuary Boulevard, and then the truck passes in one direction and then comes back another. And so once we kind of identified that was unusual, we started to really look at that vehicle. And that's kind of what started the blue truck of our investigation.
And that vehicle that you said was driving in an unusual manner before the homicide, what was unusual about the manner it was driving?
It's just kind of, I don't want to say stop for no reason, because there could be a reason that you would slow down in that area, but it wouldn't be because there's a stop sign, a yield sign, or a crosswalk. Like, there's really no reason, unless a squirrel runs in front of your car, to slow down to that length in that area.
And when you say that area, what are you referring to specifically?
Sanctuary Boulevard, going towards the JTB on-ramp. Most of those cars are going to JTB, and they're going to jump on the entrance ramp and head west over the bridge, because you can't go east, right? And so just going slow, the way that vehicle was traveling was unusual, is the term I would use. And then it actually turns back and does a U-turn, which again is pretty unusual. Most vehicles turn right and they go west over the bridge, but this truck did not. And it went back and came back Sanctuary Boulevard, and then kind of paused again, fairly unusually, not at a stop sign, not at a crosswalk. And so that really piqued our interest with this truck.
And that was appeared to be a blue pickup truck.
We determined to be a blue two-tone, top blue, bottom gold pickup truck, older model Ford F-150.
Once you identified that truck, in going through the surveillance video, did you look to see if there were occasions when Jared Bridegan's Atlas in a blue two-tone?
That is correct, one time.
Okay. So and you agree with me that accuracy is important, right?
Yes.
This is a big case, it's an important case?
Yes.
So let's just start with one thing I think you'll agree with me is just flat out wrong about that video, okay?
Is it published for the jurors?
It is. Members of the jury, can you see that?
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, you may proceed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this
should be.
Well, hold on, let me ask my question.
Sure, go ahead.
My question to you is, this is the part of the video where the blue two-tone truck, as you say, comes back to Pablo Hamlet, correct?
Correct.
And you and I know, and you know now what the mistake is because you see it, this homicide was at 7:52, correct?
Correct.
And on this video that the state put into evidence and asked you detailed questions about, you said that this is the truck coming back at 7:50, correct?
I did not say 7:50.
Well, the video says 7:50, correct?
It does.
That's wrong.
Should be 8 o'clock.
Right, it can't come back at 7:50 because it would never match the timeline. So if that in fact is the truck, it's either the time is wrong in that video or that's not the truck.
The time is wrong in that video.
That's what your position is, the time is wrong.
That's correct.
Okay. So now let's go back to the first time that the truck goes to Pablo Hamlet, okay?
Okay.
May I approach the evidence, Your Honor?
Yes.
Where Ms. Stifler asked you, does it appear to be driving a little fast, that you said yes,
That was Jacksonville driving Grande Boulevard, yes.
right?
Correct.
And then you see it on Ocean K,
Correct.
and then you see it up toward the police station and the public storage,
Correct.
and then you see it past the police station. That's the video where all the people are on the sidewalk and the truck passes right by them,
Correct.
right? So we're not talking, and another question is, that truck passed people right there on the sidewalk at the police station, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Wasn't in the middle of the night. We're talking between 7:52 and 8 p.m. on a Wednesday night, right?
Yes.
And then, just to continue, because I want this to be so crystal clear, then the truck goes back to Pablo Hamlet, correct?
Yes.
And you see it pull in
Yes.
and pull out.
Yes.
Doesn't stay there for
Very long.
very long.
Correct.
And that is the last time you ever have that truck at Pablo Hamlet.
To my knowledge, yes.
Okay, that we can agree.
Okay, sure.
All right. I certainly am not trying to confuse you. I'm just trying to get the facts.
Sure.
Then, if I understood your testimony correct, you think that you do have evidence of the truck again in other places of Jack's Beach? Or were you confused and you didn't understand my question?
No, I was confused. That's what we have, the evidence that we have.
Okay, so you would not feel comfortable testifying that in the clips of all the other surveillance, because again, let's continue with this timeline to make sure you're not confused. I did ask you, you did collect more surveillance after the homicide, meaning after 8 o'clock.
Yes.
You have surveillance at Ocean K after 8 o'clock.
Yes.
You have surveillance at Grande after 8 o'clock.
Yes.
You have surveillance at Fairway and America after 8 o'clock.
Correct.
Okay. And I'm going to submit to you that that's in evidence for the jury to look at.
Yes.
They can make a decision if they see the blue truck driving around Jack's Beach. But what your testimony is, if I understand it, is that you don't feel comfortable saying where that blue truck is after 8 p.m.
Correct.
So it takes Mr. Tennant a couple hours on foot to get back up to that area, right?
Correct.
And it would be your testimony, you have no idea where that blue truck is during that time period.
Correct.
And as part of collecting all the surveillance and speaking to witnesses, nobody puts that blue truck at Marsh Inlet, the residence of Mr. Fernandez and Shanna Gardner at that time, correct?
To my knowledge, that is correct.
Of course. And nobody has any surveillance at Marsh Inlet that puts that blue truck over there at Marsh Inlet, correct?
To my knowledge, correct.
Because that would be included in the video. That'd be really good evidence against Mr. Fernandez if you did, right?
That would be good evidence.
Sure. And you don't have that.
Do not.
Tennant had pulled into the driveway. I was, Detective Lamont was talking to Mr. Ordway, and I was just basically there as basically an assistant, or what we call 35, just assisting another officer, just kind of watching the area. And Mr. Tennant backs up his Crown Victoria into the parking lot, or not the parking garage, but the driveway. And as he gets out, he opens up the trunk and he takes out a metal dog bowl and he sets it down. And he starts filling it up, and I'm watching what he's doing because that's just trying to make sure that we're all safe. I don't know Mr. Tennant or anybody there. And
I didn't hear what he was doing.
he was filling up a dog bowl.
Dog bowl, okay.
And as he's filling up the dog bowl, I happened to see a tire, and it was just, that seemed odd because I don't know, it seemed like maybe I'd seen that tire before. I really didn't know what I had at that point. I started talking with Mr. Tennant because I knew that was ultimately we were going to want to talk to him as well. Just because he was on the property. And as Detective Lamont finished his conversation with Mr. Ordway and began talking to Mr. Tenen, I asked Mr. Ordway about the tire, and he said he was, well, I asked Mr. Ordway about the tire.
So you don't have to tell us what Mr. Ordway said, but was Mr. Ordway agreeable for you disposing of the tire?
He was.
And were you, I guess, like, could you have seized the tire from another way, or did they have to give you permission?
It's on private property, so he would have had him given me permission.
Which he did do.
He did.
And that was Mr. Ordway that gave you that permission.
It was.
So what made you think that you should take that tire?
The explanation was that the tire was found by the side of the road, and that had been found back up by the garage. A tire by the side of the road doesn't really mean anything, but suddenly now it's back up by the side of the house, which was reportedly going to be thrown away, and oddly enough, it looked like maybe the tire that was kind of at our scene. So I just hedged my bets. I wasn't sure really what we had, but it seemed interesting enough at the time, and I asked him if I could take the tire and throw it away or dispose of it for him.
Did anyone claim ownership of that tire?
No.
I'm showing you it's been entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 97. Is this photo
Correct.
which you saw right next to State's Exhibit 100?
Yes, sir.
So obviously, State's Exhibit 100 did not have a rim inside of it.
It did not.
So even though the two tires look the same, did you endeavor to find out whether or not these two tires actually had any similarities to each other?
You got to love Google. Yes, I actually got onto Google and started looking at the DOT numbers that are on the tire. And according to Google, and ultimately later through Bridgestone itself, they matched, or they appeared to match at least the same date and manufacture plan.
Okay, and I have a couple more pictures.
We discussed your investigation into Mr. Bridegan himself. We discussed your investigation into the blue two-toned Ford F-150. Discussed your investigation into 10mm firearms. At those leads at some point, is it fair to say, kind of got cold?
Yes.
I want to talk about the secondary track of your investigation. Earlier, we mentioned that at some point you believed that Mr. Fernandez, the defendant in this case, and Ms. Gardner could be persons of interest based on your investigation.
That's correct.
Did you learn through review of the St. Johns County Clerk of Court's record and other investigative means to include an interview with Mr. Fernandez himself about the divorce between Ms. Gardner and Mr. Bridegan?
That's correct.
And were you aware of Mr. Bridegan's, you mentioned date night earlier, this particular night, February 16th, did you confirm that that was in fact a scheduled date night?
Yes.
So I want to draw your attention to the screen. I'm showing you State's Exhibit 205. Is this 1511 Marsh Inlet Court?
Yes, it is.
And who resided there at the time of Jared Bridegan's homicide?
Mario Fernandez and Ms. Gardner.
And they had joint custody of the twin children. For purposes of record, we're going to call them AB and LB. Is that correct?
Yes.
I want to give the jury kind of an idea of the location of the Marsh Inlet home in comparison to some other areas of interest. I'm showing you State's Exhibit 204. This is a Google map. This location here, 400 3rd Street South, is a Wendy's. Is that correct?
It was a Wendy's, yes.
Is that the Wendy's that you went and obtained surveillance from the night Jared Bridegan was killed?
Yes.
And this shows the Google map. Whether he took this route or not, we don't know, but all roads lead to Shetter Avenue, and to get from Wendy's to Miss Gardner's home, he most likely would have taken Shetter. Correct?
Correct.
This is State's Exhibit, hold on. .204. I'm zooming in on State's 204. I want to ask about some areas of interest. So this flag here, what does that depict?
That was the Marsh Inlet residence we were just looking at.
This home we see here in State's Exhibit 205?
Correct.
Ms. Stifler, if you could get rid of that circle.
I am, yes, ma'am. In looking at the front of the Marsh Inlet house, are there any houses to the right?
There are not, no.
What is on the right-hand side of this residence at Marsh Inlet?
There's a little, I guess, sign for the neighborhood, and then other than that, there's just the street.
So at Marsh Inlet here, it's at the corner of Marsh Inlet and South 15th Street.
That's correct.
And behind the house at Marsh Inlet, what is it to the back of the property on the back fence line?
Now it's all Discovery School. I'm not sure if they own that property then, or I think they did, but it's all basically this Discovery School campus.
So if you were to hop over that fence or walk back behind the house, you would hit the property that belongs to the Discovery School.
Correct.
Did AB and LB attend the Discovery School prior to Jared Bridegan's death?
Yes.
Did they continue to attend the Discovery School after his death?
Yes, I did.
And then you kept walking through the Discovery School. What is the next street that you would hit?
It's called, the area is called Pablo Hamlet. It's a continuation of Cheddar Avenue, but basically Cheddar Avenue runs into Pablo Hamlet.
So
Pablo Hamlet.
Marsh Inlet Home, directly behind it is the Discovery School, where AB and LB attended school. And then directly behind that is going to be Pablo. And you arranged to have that interview the following day on March 1st, 2022.
Yes.
When you talked to Mr. Fernandez, did you audio and video record that interview?
Yes, we did.
While you were speaking to him, was there anything during that conversation that corroborated what you believed to be the motive you were developing? I can ask it a different way.
Okay.
When you interviewed Mr. Fernandez, and the jury's going to see his interview momentarily and hear it themselves, were there specific statements he said that you notated as potentially relevant to your investigation?
Yes.
What were some of the specific statements, based on your training and experience, that stood out to you such that you notated them?
That he and Ms. Gardner were trying to get a social investigation done in order to gain at least majority custody of the kids.
And just, it goes without saying, but I am going to say it. This interview, March 1st, 2022, was after Jared had been killed.
That's correct.
All right.
I'm sorry, I was asking about the date.
Okay.
This interview was conducted as part of your homicide investigation, so clearly, and just for context for the jury to watch it, this is after Mr. Bridegan had been killed.
Yes, that's correct.
Did you also speak with Ms. Gardner that day?
Yes, we did.
Without saying anything she said, after her interview, did you take any steps off the path of the investigation you were already on?
No.
Your Honor, this time I would like to publish what's been marked and entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 183. Belong to.
The Ford F-150.
I'm showing you what's been marked as and entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 192. Can you tell me what this is?
Those are the truck keys.
And are these truck keys you recovered from the person of Mr. Tennant during his arrest?
Yes.
And I'm showing you what's been entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 95. Is this a swab of Mr. Tennant's cheek?
Yes.
And is this how you obtain an individual's DNA?
Yes.
And did you or one of your detectives, did you take the swab yourself?
I collected the swab.
And then here we have what's been entered into evidence as State's Exhibit 127. Is this a cell phone that you took off Mr. Tennant's person during his arrest in August of 2022?
Yes.
Do you remember the date he was arrested for the DWSR?
I'd have to check the exact date. I know it was in August, but you want to check?
Sure.
It was August 18th.
August 18th, 2022. And then I'm also showing you State's Exhibit 193. Is this a swab that was taken from those silver Ford keys that were recovered from Mr. Tennant's person during his arrest on August 18th?
Yes.
Once you collected those keys, these swabs, and Mr. Tennant's cell phone, were you able to do search warrants for cellular site location information for the number associated with the phone that you recovered?
Yes, we did.
Were you able to do a forensic download of that cell phone?
Yes.
We'll hear more about that later from a different witness, the expert witness on that. But overall, in general, did the cell site data from Mr. Tennant's cell phone place him in Jacksonville Beach the night of February 16th, 2022?
Yes, it did.
And did you send Mr. Tennant's DNA swab to the lab at ATF for comparison against the swab from the tire recovered from the crime scene and the swab of those vehicle keys?
Yes, we did.
What were the results that were relayed to you? Was Mr. Tennant's DNA included on that tire and those keys?
Yeah, not using the language the analysts would
They're going to
probably
hear
use.
from the DNA expert.
Okay.
But
Yes, it was basically a match.
in terms of your investigation, were you able to confirm at that point, based on the cell site location data, the appearance of the shooter on camera, and those DNA results, that Henry Tennant, you believed at that point in your investigation to be the shooter?
Yes, that's correct.
So did you obtain a search warrant for Henry Tennant's belongings at 5239 Potomac Avenue?
Yes.
And do you recall what date it was that you executed the search warrant at Potomac Avenue?
I'm just going to look at my record real quick. It's been in October. I did.
Did you immediately arrest him after receiving this information?
No.
Can you explain to the jury what investigative technique or step you decided to utilize concurrent with the arrest of Henry Tennant?
We decided to use the arrest as what they call a tickle, because we were going to do a T3 wire, or what is commonly referred to as a wiretap, on people that we believed were also involved in the homicide.
So this is the last area of your testimony we're going to get to today. And I want to ask you a little bit about what a wiretap is. Can you explain to the jury what a wiretap is?
It is the most intrusive thing that the government could probably do to a person, and that is to listen to your private phone conversations. It's something that we take very seriously. There's a long process. A written affidavit has to go before the state attorney, who has to sign off on it, and then go before a judge. And only then, if it's approved, do we get the authorization to listen to these telephone conversations.
In this case, when did you decide to arrest Mr. Tennant? What was the, target date for his arrest to complete this wiretap?
I believe it was in August. Do you mind if I check my notes here?
I'm sorry, not the decision to seek the wiretap, the date that Mr. Tennant was going to be arrested while the wiretap was up and running.
Give me 1 second, just want to check my notes. It was in January 25th that he was arrested, and that was what we used to kind of get the wire going.
So you mentioned that a wiretap is probably the most intrusive act the government can do to its own citizens. How do you get authority to conduct a wiretap? Do you just set it up and...
Basically, you have to prove that you've tried everything else possible to solve a crime and that nothing else has really kind of worked. But you have to also kind of show that people have a tendency to talk about a crime. That's not really generally true of homicides. However, we had seen in past times that the other suspects that we were targeting had talked about the homicide. So we basically drafted an affidavit that said, hey, we've tried everything we can to bring this case to justice. We've been unsuccessful at doing so. We do believe that by this specific action will generate conversations that will be relevant to our investigation, not just any conversation. And then we basically write an affidavit stating all of this, how we plan to do it, and then rules are drafted as to what we can listen to, what we can't listen to, and usually for a very specific period of time. If it was a conversation our number that we missed, and it was realized, as soon as it was realized, they would stop recording the call.
You mentioned earlier a phrase, tickle the wire. Can you explain to the jury what that means?
It's an event that is basically prearranged by law enforcement, so it spurs conversation about the actual crime that we're trying to record.
And the event that you're going to use to spur conversation, does that also have to be outlined in the affidavit and approved by the judge?
Yes, it does.
In this case, in January of 2023, you said you were going to use the arrest of Henry Tenen to spur conversation or tickle the wire.
That's correct.
How was that plan in place to come about? What was the mode of communicating to these suspects that Henry Tenen was arrested or going to be arrested?
A news conference was going to be held announcing the arrest of Henry Tenen for the murder of Jared Bridegan.
A news conference was going to be held by whom?
Jacksonville Beach Police.
And was that news conference planned in order to elicit conversation?
Yes, it was.
And can you explain to the jury how it was that you disseminated that information out into the community?
We disseminated it through the media.
So you announced to the media you were having a press conference. What did you tell the media that you were going to do?
Well, I think it was basically told in advance, hey, there's a big break coming in the case. So they would have basically getting them interested in wanting to report on it. And then after that, we would do the announcement.
So the event or the tickling of the wire was telling the media that you were going to have a press conference and announce a big break in regards to the Jared Bridegan case?
Correct.
And did you have that press conference?
Yes.
Were you up on the wire before the press conference?
Yes.
And did you intercept any calls, and I'm going to speak specifically in relation to this defendant, Mario Fernandez, during that wiretap?
Yes, we did.
During that wiretap, after the media announced to the community at large that there was a big break in the Jared Bridegan case, did you intercept, observe, or otherwise find any communications between Mr. Fernandez and Ms. Gardner?
No.
At that point, based on your investigation, were you also surveilling these people real time?
Yes, we were.
And why are you surveilling individuals that you're seeing? Audio. And we can see some people in this video. Is this yourself that we see and your partner, Detective Lamont?
Yes, that's correct.
And this video in the upper right-hand corner says Axon Body 2. Is this being recorded with a video camera or a phone or a body camera?
It's a JSO body camera.
Does Jacksonville Beach have body cams?
At this time, no.
Okay. And we see an individual here where at 15:34:18 in the timestamp, who is the individual we see walking in the green jumpsuit?
Mr. Henry Tenen.
And Detective Johns, what was the purpose behind having JSO record Mr. Tenen on body cam walking after his arrest?
He has a very unique gait or style of walking. And that was to show that it matched the style of walking that was on the surveillance video from Grotto.
I'm showing you one last slide. This is states, is this a slide that you or one of your teammates spliced together of different surveillance clips that you recovered from February 16, 2022?
Yes, that's correct.
And this is states, this is a composition of several clips that were included in a video the jury's already seen, States Exhibit 91. And we just saw Mr. Tenen walking, and this is a video showing video footage of the shooter walking. And you all made this in order to compare the gait of Mr. Tenen to the gait of the individual you see here.
That's correct.
And here in this video, you were